right, well, welcome to Bangin' Bars. We got a new episode. We are coming to you from Studio B on the sunshine state of Florida. Got a little diversion over the past month. We've been kind of off the grid. I had a little procedure done, got myself a new knee, so I'm out of commission for a little bit. But we're back to it here. Hopefully, I'll be back next season, back on the bike. We've got a good show for you today. We've got an interview coming up. We're going to have a good guest. I think everybody's going to really like it. We'll talk a little bit about the race calendar coming up, some races that are going to be in August. And I was hoping to talk about the UCI World Championships, but there's probably not much to talk about. Most of it's been talked about already. We'll probably get a little bit of feedback also from our guest that's going to be coming up. And then also we're going to introduce our new segment called The Whole Shot on the episode. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's go ahead and check and see if our guest is ready to go. We'll get linked up with them. Okay, we've got Drew Polk with us today. Factory Syndit LSG, Men's Elite Pro. Welcome on the show, Bangin' Bars, Drew Polk.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Tony.
All right, I got some questions, man, for you. I want to get some little background on you first as well, too. So, starting off with your amateur side, like from the get-go, man, where'd you start racing? Like when did you start racing leading up to just before you turned pro?
Yeah, so I started racing in 2011. I'm from California, so home track was Manzanita Park BMX. Yeah, I kind of just raced the state and, regional series, and then started making mains towards the end of when I lived in California, which I lived there until I was around 14. Started making some national mains, maybe a podium here and there. And then we moved out here to Indiana, really started working hard. And then 2018 got my first national win and joined LSG, which still with Donovan to this day. And then got my first NAG one the following year. And then, we got another NAG one, and then we got the national title in 2022. So yeah, I had a fairly successful amateur career. Pretty happy with it, and was going into pro, feeling pretty good about it.
Awesome. So, where would you grow up at in California? What town?
I was from like Salinas, Monterey area.
Okay, up north. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Yeah, I'm from Southern California, so I started racing down there way back in the 80s. But,
yeah.
Cool. All right. So, how do you like it? I mean, you've been in Indiana for like almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
A little different.
Yeah, it's definitely different, but it was a good change. I think it was a blessing in disguise. You never really think about it, but now I'm definitely thankful we moved out here. It's super cool.
And that's your home base like throughout the season now too, is right?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm here when I'm not traveling. I'm here, but it seems like these days I'm almost gone more than I'm home. So,
all right. So you had a pretty successful amateur career. So making that jump over to the pro ranks, how was that navigating that transition? Your rookie year and stuff. Give us a little background on that.
Yeah, I came into it pretty good. A main here and there, but really took me, I'd say, a good 5-6 months to really grasp, the pro class. It was definitely there was a learning curve to it, so it took me a bit to learn. But, once I figured that out, it started coming along pretty quickly, and I got some podiums later in the year. So, made some good progress. My first year felt like I was a completely different rider at the very end than I was at the beginning of my first year. And then, second year, improved a little bit upon what I had the first year. And I feel like each year I'm just taking more and more steps. So I definitely took a bit to learn, but still learning to this day, just trying to, keep improving. So.
And when you went from amateur to pro, like, did you do any of the ABA futures transition, or did you just went straight? I'm going straight into the pro.
So I did some U23 stuff in my amateur days. And we actually didn't have futures back then. So I raced the SX Open, which is basically the same thing, just not paid and not really a series. But I did a bit of that to, try and get prepared. But it's cool that they have that now. Seems like a really good stepping stone. But I kind of just had to jump in with the Wolves.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah. So that's what you've been, 3 years now, I think, right? On the elite
Yeah.
side.
Yep.
Yep.
This third year, yeah.
So obviously on the UCI racing, the schedule there, you've done some racing this year. I saw you obviously just on telly. You did Sarians and Papendelle, the UCI races over there. How'd you like that? You were going pretty good. You had some good. You were looking pretty good
Yeah.
over there. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I had, I did better there last year than I did this year, and I think I've almost gotten faster to where it's putting me in, uncomfortable situations of where I can't really
Right.
take control. So last year I was able to make moves freely more off the back, but this year I was kind of getting stuck. So I felt like I was riding good, but results just weren't really there. So, it's another learning curve. Just gonna have to figure out how to get past that and succeed with whatever you're given. But yeah, I made a quarter and 3/8 over in that Euro trip. So definitely not, what I was expecting, but, it could be worse. So we're going to try to keep building on that. We have some more World Cups coming up later this year. So we're going to try to make it better
Yeah.
than that one.
So like that level of racing. I mean, over here on the U.S. side, the pro levels is pretty good. Is there a big difference once you get into that UCI elite piece when you're racing those? I mean, everybody from around the world.
Yeah, I think it's definitely different. I would say that the range of skill in the US isn't much different. The top guys are just as fast as the top guys over there. But I think the difference is, you know, the amount at the top. Everyone's just so good that there's nobody who's slow. Like you're never gonna get in a moto and just have someone that's easy. So uh, I think it's definitely harder. And it's almost like the motos don't even get easier each round because it's like you're just gonna have 7 fast guys every single time. So it is different. But I think, some of the top guys still do well here and they do well over there. So it's good that I get to race here consistently, get that experience. And then obviously going over there is just, another step, but it's good.
Yeah, you can see that when you're watching it. Just that little difference. That say you miss something just a little bit off when you're approaching a jump or just that little bump out of the gate. That huge difference that it makes at the UCI races, and it's like, God, that's it, man. I'm gonna be able to make that piece up. I can see how it's more
Yeah. Yeah.
challenging.
Yeah.
So you went over to Australia. Yeah. And that whole thing down there, unfortunately, they had to cancel those races there. So, I mean, how was the trip down there? Was it a little maybe disappointing, or did you take anything positive from it?
Yeah, yeah, it was actually my second time going there. I went to the World Cup there in 2024. So I kind of felt like I knew the track, so I was attacking it pretty hard on my first session there. Ended up having a pretty big crash on the first jump, so it kind of took me out of training and riding for a few days. But yeah, after that, I just really wasn't gelling with the track. I was feeling good before that, but yeah, I was kind of just struggling around the track. But yeah, I got into racing and Worlds is just, it's a different level. I mean, even from the World Cups, like I was talking about not having any fluff, like any fluff that there may have been at the World Cups kind of gets taken away. So, right off the bat, you have a super hard first round. So yeah, it was pretty disappointing race for me. Definitely should have done better than I did, but it is what it is. Just got to learn from it. Move on and yeah, hopefully not have any of those performances, later this Olympic cycle.
So, when you were amateur, did you do any World Cup, some UCI stuff as well?
Yeah, yeah. So I had junior worlds and then after that I went U23 and I stayed U23 for 2 years. So I did the World Cups all through those 2 years. Made a bunch of semis, made a main in Bogota, Colombia, got a fifth there. But yeah, that kind of helped a little bit. But yeah, the elite class is just totally different story
Yeah.
from U23 at the World Cup level.
Oh, it's pretty cool though. I mean, you're getting to race the USA stripes there. How's that feel racing for Team USA?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's definitely a privilege. Always look forward to it. It's always cool putting on that jersey. You just feel different. A lot of pride. So yeah, it's really cool just knowing, you know, no matter if people like you as a rider or not, as soon as they see it's their country, they're always rooting for you. So it's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
that's awesome. That's cool. All right, so you you're riding with Syndit. Yeah, that's your like the bike you're riding. So you started. What bike did you ride before you went to when you changed over to Send It?
I was on
Like,
Throwdown
what
the
was
year
your frame?
before, and then I was riding a Blink one for half the year while Toby was finalizing some things, and then got onto the Send It mid 2024.
Okay. Yeah, I had him. We did an episode, Bing and Bars. He came on, and yeah, we went into his new company to Send It. Sounds like a pretty good program, pretty good projects that he's got going as well too.
Yeah.
So, and then they got some new components and stuff coming out, the SPP stuff. Or I know you
hmm
ride, like I'm looking at you sent me a picture of your bike, and you've got all pretty much box components on your bike there. Is that a custom paint job on the frame, or can you get that frame?
Yeah, no, that's a custom wrap. My friend Ronan from R9 Designs, he did that for me.
Okay.
So it was a pretty sleek looking design on it.
Yeah, like the
But
honeycomb.
yeah, he
It's
had
like
me
a
do that.
honeycomb design there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome. So when the SPP stuff comes out, I don't know if it's a like a sponsorship thing or whatever, but would you be able to switch over to some of the SPP components? Is that something that you're thinking about, or something you got to wait on to see what plays out?
Uh, yeah, we kind of have to wait and see. Yeah, Box has been really good to me. So yeah, very happy with their parts. I'm sure Toby's gonna make some really good stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah, so LSG, you've been with them for a while. Is that right?
Yeah,
When you were amateur as
yeah,
well, and then you guys just combined with it with Send It with that.
yeah.
Toby Henderson was telling me that I guess like the team manager, someone you've been with for a while, and that's like running your factory team.
Yeah, yeah, Donovan. He's one of the most winning team managers in the history of the sport.
All right.
You know, he dates all the way back to, Intense, Haro. I joined when we were on WeOS, so it was WeOS LSG. So got me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I joined on WeOS LSG. And then yeah, we went to Hyper after that. And then we went with No Frame for a bit. I was just kind of riding my own thing. Then we went to Throwdown. Yeah, now we're on Send It. So this is year number 3 of Send It with Donovan. So it seems like it's a good partnership. And yeah, I have full trust in Donovan. He helps me a lot. So yeah, he's been huge in my career.
Yeah. So I think, are you the only men's elite on Send It LSG, and who's on the women's side for you guys?
We have Matthew Wirtz, who he's pro, but he races U23, and then we don't have any women right now. So
Oh, okay.
I think we're the only 2 pros, holding it down.
Okay. I think. Oh, maybe they riding for Send It Zenith, maybe.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, there's a couple guys on there.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. So big thing here is too, like your program and your schedule. So like when it comes to training, I saw I don't know if it was in one of your documentaries, I think it was you're prepping for Grands, and you had a big training thing. You went over to Las Vegas and trained out there. So like, say like for right now, are you racing this weekend? Do you go anywhere to race this weekend?
I have nothing this weekend, but the following weekend we have a race in Utah, so that's kind of what we're
Yeah,
getting
like
ready
Salt
for right
Lake
now.
Nationals, right? Yeah.
Yep,
So like
yep.
right now, like the 2 weeks leading up to the Salt Lake, what would your training? Do you have like certain days, like I'm working on sprints, I'm hitting the gym, or anything like that? What are some scheduled things that you pace
Yeah,
out for
yeah. We pretty
yourself
much
leading up
do.
to a race?
Yeah, we basically do gym 2 days a week. So that's pretty consistent unless it's a race week. Normally we cut that down to 1. And then yeah, right now is a lot of gates and sprints. I saw that was definitely lacking at Worlds, so that was kind of low-hanging fruit to try and fix as quick as possible, especially with a small hill race coming up in Utah. So really need to be good down the first straight. So that's kind of what we're mainly working on. Um, and keeping time on the big hill. So I've been riding Louisville a bit, also getting ready for the national in Louisville coming up. So yeah, pretty all around training, but yeah, right now definitely working on a little bit of gate work.
Yeah, and then as you get closer, do you scale that down when you get closer to your race days? You scale it down, or do you
A little
stay at
bit,
the same
yeah.
intensity?
Yeah, no, I mean, we try to keep the intensity the same, but, scale down the reps a little bit. So right now, a lot of volume. I mean, we're talking 25 to 40 gates a day. But once we get closer, yeah, it'll be a little bit less and making sure that every single one is just spot on so that you go into the race knowing that you're going to be, firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. Do you go to a local track, or do you got like your own setup? Like, some of the guys have like their own property. They've got a track, in their backyard that they go, and or do you go to a local track, or where do you get your riding in?
Yeah, my home track is Indy Cycleplex BMX. It's like 30 minutes away. It's in Indianapolis, but I go there a couple times a week when I'm home. But then gates are just out on my Pro Start gate out on the road, so that lets me get in a lot of reps. I can be there as long as I want and just do specific work. But then yeah, I go to Indy, get some small track in, and then Louisville's my closest 8 meters, so that's 2 hours 15 minutes. So those are kind of my
Okay.
three, staples.
Yeah. And when you're traveling to your races, I know I've seen that you've got like a little travel van that you get to races in. Do you use that most of the time, or depending on the distance, do you fly, or how do you get to your races?
Yeah, it definitely depends on where the race is. It seems like this year and I guess the last half of last year, we got pretty lucky with most of the races being on the east. So anything on the east, I can pretty much drive to and it'll make it worth it. I mean, as long as I'm not going past like Texas, anything longer than that, I think
Yeah.
it's, better to just fly there. So I'll be flying to Utah, but yeah, I try to stay in the van, when I'm training or racing. It makes it cheaper to stay. Don't need a hotel or anything.
Yeah.
And then you also have a car there, so then you don't have to rent a car. So yeah, it's pretty nice. It's a good little program that I got going.
Cool. So one thing too that like your media, I think you've got a pretty good like media presence, like your social media and stuff, and your YouTube, and I like your on the track videos that you record. I actually use those like if I'm in the gym or I'm on a stationary bike, I'll do like sprints off of your like when you're racing. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty good. I like those. I don't see. I mean, if there are other pros that are doing it, I don't really see it too much, but I really like those. So with your media stuff, you started like a production company, Drew Polk Productions, right? So when did you start that? How long you been doing that?
Yeah, I just started doing some of it on the side just for fun. I bought a camera. It was just filming for fun. So I'd make little BMX edits. And then I started getting a little bit better. So ended up just starting an Instagram. It's Drew Polk Media. So I kind of just, whatever I take photos or film, post it up there. Yeah. And it's gotten to the point where people are wanting edits. So then, they'll pay me for it. I don't have a ton of time to do it. So I do it in my
Yeah.
spare time. But yeah, it's definitely something I enjoy doing. And it's a little side hobby that, keeps my mind going when it's off of BMX.
Yeah, I like the rookie documentary. It was a pretty good one.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you're saying that you do all your production, your video work, all your editing and everything. Anybody else helping you?
No, yeah, it's pretty much all me.
That's awesome.
It's definitely a lot, but I enjoy it. Yeah, I try to do my best to get good content out there. The documentaries are also just another little, personal project. I mean, I definitely didn't need to make a full documentary, but it's cool to look back on and watch. So I like how they come out. They've been good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, they're really good.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
good. So off the bike, I mean, what do you do besides when you're not BMXing like off season or whatever? You got time to relax, or some of the hobbies and stuff you like to get out and do?
Honestly, it's not a whole lot. Training takes up a lot of the time. I don't really take much time off of training, if ever. So it's either, yeah, I'm either using my camera or spending time with my family or training, racing. I like to travel, see new things. So, sometimes we take little trips to random places. Like we just went to Canada, which I still trained and raced while we were there. But yeah, cool to go see new things like that as well.
All right, cool. Oh, Canada. So,
Yeah.
are you involved with like coaching or mentoring or anything like that when it comes to on the BMX side?
I do some clinics here and there to try to help out a little bit. I try not to because I know how much time someone would need if they wanted coaching. And so I feel like I don't want to offer it unless I've got all the time to give.
Sure. Yeah,
But when
yeah.
I'm done with BMX, done racing, I definitely would be interested in that. Definitely something I would enjoy. But yeah, right now I just help, when I can, my teammates and all of them, but nothing really specific like one-on-one.
Cool, cool. So you're halfway through the season. I think, what are you sitting like number two, I think, in the
Yep.
points? About, I think, 45 points off. So it's looking pretty good. So I'm sure you set your goals and stuff for the year. And like I said, you're halfway through the season. How's it looking for you with your goals that you set and where you've at? Have you exceeded it? Have you need to some that you still need to check
Yeah,
off?
I think on the domestic side, things are going really good. The season's going great. Got my first win of the season a lot earlier than last year and a little earlier than I expected. So, yeah, already having a win and a handful of podiums is good, getting me up there. So, I think, goals are trending right on the US scene. Internationally, not as much, but we still have the important part of the season, which is this back half. That's when the Olympic cycle starts. So, really, all my goals were kind of suited for that anyways. So yeah, I think we'll be on track to meet most of my goals as long as we, continue and make this last half of the year pretty good.
So your first win of the season, where was that at?
That was in Tulsa for the Legacy Nationals.
Okay. All right. That's so you had the UCI, you won that UCI race as well, right? But then
Hmm.
you won the main at the nationals as well too. I think I saw some
Yep.
video. That was crazy. I think I saw some video. Was that when there was a few guys crashed like right next to you
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
in and I tell you what, man, you when you get into a turns, I'm sure. I mean, they even named it right. You get poked. So you're like a master surgeon at that. When you get into turns, I mean, you can find the spots, get through them, hold your lines, and make up places, and then you had another. I think it was Wood that would he got ahead of you, and then you got him in a turn in the last turn, or maybe or the second to last
Yeah.
turn as well, and got the win. So that was pretty cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
when you
That was a crazy race.
that was, I mean, I tell you, you slotted right in. It was pretty good, dude. That's just being aware, having that awareness. So when it comes to that, how you're so efficient in taking up spots and turns like that, is that something you've always been able to do, or is that something you've worked on, or is it something that's just natural to you?
Yeah, I think it's pretty natural. To be honest, I don't know exactly where it came from. I think it was just from I'm not the most, strong or fast guy out there. So I think as a kid, my only way to really keep up was to make moves. And that was my only way to, get wins or podiums, whatever it would be. So I think it's pretty much just like survival of the fittest. And that's just how I was able to, keep up. So I think it's pretty natural to me. I don't really have to think about it too much, but, some other things don't come as natural. So just kind of working to my strengths. I
Yeah.
think I also raced motorcycles as a kid. I raced flat track, so I'm not sure if anything came from that as well, but
Oh, okay.
just a few things here and there. So,
The oval flat track, right? When you're like laying it
yep,
down,
yep.
that yeah. Okay, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it definitely
definitely
gives you a
it's
grasp
awesome
of
to
how it
watch you
works.
do it, dude. I mean, it's entertaining. It makes the race entertaining, and you can, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, rest of the season, man, we got some targets for the rest of the season. So, on the UCI side, are you going to be going to China?
Yep, yep. I'll be going over
Oh,
there.
okay.
It's
First
gonna
time
be a
going
big
over
trip.
there.
Yeah, yeah. I've never been to Asia, so yeah, looking forward to that one actually.
Cool. All right. Then the last one, which is pretty cool. I'm over here in Florida. You guys are going to be over in Sarasota. You're going to be making that one as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Plan on doing
That's cool.
all the World Cups for the next few years because the Olympic cycle starts in August. So all those World Cups will count straight towards Olympic points. So yeah, they're pretty crucial. So definitely gonna be at those.
Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to ask you. How's the coming Olympics, man? The target for that. So you're definitely gunning for that. It'd be awesome to see
I
you
think
there.
that's the big focus for sure. Doing everything I can to get there. Definitely a good spot for it. So got to capitalize on that and yeah, try to get on the team.
Cool. All right. So let's talk about like giving some advice to some younger racers. You got some young riders out there. They're just trying to level up their skills or just improving their areas in riding, or even get to the pro level, like to where you're at someday. What's some advice you can give these younger riders?
Yeah, I got, man, countless, but I think,
Yeah.
one to start off is when you're younger, make sure you prioritize skill and bike control because you can always build speed when you're older, and a lot of that actually comes naturally. So as long as you're building skills and being comfortable on the bike, that'll take you a long ways. So definitely prioritize all that when you're younger. I'd say another one is, don't be afraid to outwork everyone. A lot of people just they like to do the bare minimum, and for some people it works for a good while, but in the end, the only one that's gonna make it is the one that's working the hardest and, being smart about everything. So I guess those are two big ones. I'd say chase the ranks, learning how to, you know, win when you're under pressure and when people are counting on you is pretty big, and you're gonna encounter a lot of those situations. So by racing the series, being up for titles and racing for them, you'll learn a lot just through that. And then when you go pro, it's all the same thing, just better guys, faster guys. So just learning the game.
Awesome. So do you have anything in the works, like any projects, or are you just mainly focusing on the racing, or anything going on with Drew Polk? Any stuff new?
Yeah. I'm working on my website a little bit, kind of revamping it and hoping to come out with another drop of merch. I did some last year, so should be putting some out. Hopefully not too long from now. And then yeah, besides that, man, I'm just pretty all in on BMX right now. So until LA 28, I think that's pretty much all I'm set on.
Yeah,
So
cool.
that's the big focus for sure.
Yeah, big goals, big targets. Yeah.
hmm
So for everybody listening, they want to follow you, watch your race footage, check you out, man. Where can they find you? What are some of the places they can get you?
Yeah, you can find me. It's at Drew Polk BMX on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, all that good stuff. Post different kind of stuff on each platform. So yeah, make sure you go check it out. Got YouTube for the longer stuff and Instagram, Facebook for some of the shorter stuff and some photos.
Cool. I think we mentioned it already, but the next place we could see Drew Polk racing would be
Utah, yep, coming up next weekend.
awesome. That's coming up in a couple weeks, I think. Or no, yeah, not this weekend, next weekend. Yeah, first weekend
Yep.
in August. Awesome. Cool, man. Well, hey, dude, I tell you what, I appreciate you carving out the time, do the podcast with us. And is there anything that you want to get in before we sign off?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it was super cool. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you giving me an opportunity to come on and speak. Yeah, it means a lot to me. So yeah, looking forward to hearing more of your podcasts.
Yeah, me too, man. We appreciate the support. We're just getting it going. We really want to get just the word out on BMX today and what's going on with today and for the future and stuff like that. That's my main goal here. So, yeah, but also, yeah, appreciate it. Thanks again, Drew. And hopefully we can get you on maybe again in the future. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
let's do it.
Okay. And all the best for the rest of the season and well, too. We'll be rooting you on.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right. All right, man. That was an awesome interview with Drew Polk. We really appreciate him coming on. So let's move on to our next segment of the show. We've got a public service announcement here from Bangin' Bars podcast. So like all of our shows, we always put it out there. We're always looking for folks. They want to come on the show. We want to talk bikes. We want to talk racing, anything, BMX, mountain bike, downhill, four cross, whatever. Let's talk about it. We'll get anybody too as well. Any of the OGs, 50-year and older folks, the pros, the up and coming future racers as well, track operators, innovators, sponsors. Come on the show. Get in touch with us. Also, too, if you'd like to showcase your whole shots, like for our whole shots segment, go and send us a little 10, 15 second clip you banging bars down that first straight, getting that turn, getting that whole shot. Just let us know what, who, what, where, when, what it is, a quick summary. We'd be glad to showcase that on the show as well, too. So if you need to get in touch with us, go to info@kudagear.com or bangingBars@kudagear.com. Shoot us an email of your interest and let us know what. We'll get back to you. All right. And off to our sponsors. Kuda Gear, where the thrill of the chase meets the grit of the grind. Whether you're hitting the pavement or the dirt, we provide the gear that keeps up with your ambition. Looking for more than just gear? If you're ready to find your pack and push your limits, Team Kuda Gear is the one. Join a community that values the spirit of the sport as much as the podium finish. Check us out at kudagear.com. And also the Lab Studio Gym, Melbourne, Florida. They're not your typical big box gym, state-of-the-art training center. It's never overcrowded. It's a 24/7 secure access. They've got a great coaching staff. It's their greatest asset. You'll be guided by a powerhouse team of experienced bodybuilding competitors, former NCAA athletes, and military veterans who bring discipline and world results to every workout. Plus, they take recovery as seriously as the lift, offering on-site massage therapy, saunas, expert nutrition, and coaching to round out your transformation. So if you're ready to elevate your training and join a culture built on excellence, located in Melbourne, Florida, visit thelabstudiogym.com to get started. All right. So let's jump into our whole shot segment. Now, this segment here is yours. Drew Polk sent that over. This is the Legacy Nationals UCI race. We're actually going to show the whole clip on this because he ends up getting the win as well, too. And thanks again, Drew Polk, for sending this over. All right, awesome. Okay. Thanks again, Drew Polk, for sending that in for the whole shot segment. All right. So I was going to talk about the World Championships. There's not much to talk about. I know a lot of folks are disappointed in it. I know a lot of obviously the pros, the elites that were racing that first weekend definitely wanted to race it out to see who gets those spots on those podiums. But let's move on to what's up next on the race calendar. USA BMX National Series. You've got the Salt Lake Nationals, August 7th through the 9th, and that's also a Pro Series race. So you see the pros out there looking to get some more points for that end of year results. And then you've also got the Hoosier Nationals, August 14th through the 16th too. And also going over in the UK, you got your summer regional races. So keep an eye out for those, and good luck to everybody participating in those races. So that wraps it up for the show for us. Once again, a big thanks to our guest, Drew Polk, for being on the show. Thanks to everyone for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, share. You can follow us on Instagram at Bangin' Bars and Facebook, Bangin' Bars Podcast. Until next time, keep your wheel spinning and your passion racing.